So, Charlie Kirk. I have been following the whole thing unravel on social media, on YouTube mostly. And I just felt like I wanted to say something, even if nobody's going to see this or not a lot of people are going to watch this video. Just because I'm not really hearing the point of view that I hold. And so, because I'm not really left or right. And I feel like I understand both sides. And I feel like both sides are just missing the point right now. Because, let me do this. Because it's like, first of all, let's start with what happened, right? Charlie Kirk got shot by a probably left-wing person, most likely from what was written on the shell casings. And I guess this guy was probably radicalized through social media and whatever. And the right have the right to say that, it's probably a result of, people calling right-wing guys and right-wing influencers and right-wing politicians like Trump, calling them Nazis and fascists and all of that. And making that kind of language acceptable in the public discourse, right? But then, right, you listen to, I listened to these people debate. I watched Piers Morgan. I watched fucking Valuetainment. I watched all kind of different point of views. And but these right-wing people will then, while criticizing the kind of language, they will actually use pretty bad language, like in the next sentence, where I'm thinking like, yo, you're missing the point. Like, of course, it's a right-wing guy that got shot, and it was a left-wing person, and it's probably the left-wing language. It's definitely the left-wing language that led to that. But to say that, or to pretend that it really is only a left-wing issue, is comical. It's ridiculous. And I don't know. I mean, I liked Charlie Kirk. The fact that he debated people and was open to debate with pretty much anyone. And that he went out there, and I did cry when I saw him die. I did. It was fucking. I saw the uncensored clip that it was on YouTube for a while. I think. I don't know if it still is, but that was fucking brutal, and I did cry. And so it's not like I'm not empathetic, and I think it's despicable, but on every show where you have left and right wing people arguing right now, they're like missing the point. It's like both sides, like, people can't just come together and say, this is too much. And I think all the right-wing people want to hear from the left-wing people is that they say, yeah, this is probably our type of language that led to this, and we need to do better. I think that's all the right-wing people want to hear. And I think all the left-wing people want to hear is that the right-wing people will say, this is fucked up and you guys need to change your language. But let's use this moment to acknowledge we haven't been perfect ourselves and we've used language like this also. And we all need to come together and embrace each other and embrace our fucking common humanity instead of turning up the heat and getting on each other's nerves and escalating, just it's like all these public people, these influencers and social media people, whether left wing or right wing, like if you watch the people that were on Piers Morgan and on other platforms, it's like I'm just missing the fucking human decency in these people not to go after each other in this fucking moment. Like, if you're a right-wing guy and you have a left-wing person on there that's saying, yeah, this is completely fucked up and we need to look at what kind of language we use and it's not okay. But the right wing also needs to look at its language. Just take that as a win. You don't have to argue that, well, actually, no, it's just the left wing that you can't use this moment to make a case that both are using this. No, you have to, they're expecting them to, admit that, oh, it's only the left wing and we're so bad and, just take that as a win. The left wing people, they don't want to admit. I just feel like people don't have the finesse to realize how to engage on a cordial level. I think that's what you call it, cordial. On a how to engage with each other on a level where you let the other person, save face. Because obviously you're not going to have a left-wing guy coming out and being like, oh, yes, we are all wrong. All the left-wing is wrong and we're so fucked up and we need to change and you're completely right, all the right-wing guys. That's delusional to expect. And on the left-wing hand, of course, it's delusional to expect them, the right-wing people, to be like, well, one of our guys just died to a left-wing assassin. We're gonna make the case for, actually, it's both sides. Yeah, we're gonna make the case that it's both sides. You can't expect that either. So I don't fucking know, man. I just feel like people want, they don't have the capacity to actually understand how to build bridges instead of just burning them and firing each other up. I'm not against, being a strong-willed and having an opinion and, debating, harshly but at some point, man, the way that people talk about each other, these public figures, these, I can't understand how they don't realize what kind of language they're using to speak about each other. And like, I watched Piers Morgan, right? And who was on there? It was one guy from Valuetainment, and it was Cenk Uygur, and it was, what's his name? The gay conservative. The gay conservative. What's his name? Gonna look it up. But like, I felt like Cenk was actually trying there to, be accommodating. And yeah, of course, he was also playing a semantic game of, of not trying to look bad, which everyone does, and you can't turn that off, really. I mean, he really, tried to be as accommodating. I feel like he was trying to be as accommodating as possible while still saving face as, obviously, I mean, being a left wing guy, but admitting to, the left wing using bad language. But of course, he's not gonna come on there and be like, oh, yeah, we, the left wing, we are the problem. And I just feel like it's so infuriating to watch all this public discourse and people really not realizing that, of course, it's, of course, both sides are the problem. And I feel like if a left-wing guy says both sides are the problem, just after a right-wing person got killed, of course, the right-wing people are gonna be like, pfft. And if a left-wing guy would have just been killed and the right-wing would have been like, well, but it's both sides, would have been the same, would get the same reaction from the left wing. And it's just like, both sides are like just playing this game of how to most efficiently blame each other, right? And they're just playing this game of how to get upset at each other. That's how it feels like. And I just wish people would really try to fucking, come together. And yeah, I don't know what more to say. It's just sad to see right now, because I mean, yeah, I haven't really seen anyone in the public space. I haven't really watched anyone in the public space where I felt like, yeah, this is it. The only person that I watched where I was like, yeah, I really like that, was Theo Von. Theo Von, that felt authentic and humble. And I just feel like everyone else seems to be just losing their minds. Like, I'm not even from America. Why do I care? Because this whole thing it's not about even Charlie Kirk. It's not about America. It's not even about necessarily left wing or right wing, but it's about people. And we have left wing and right wing in Germany as well, and you can see similar trends where, yeah, the right wing, they're evil Nazis, and the left, that's what the left says, and the right wing says, yeah, and these guys, they want to, make your children trans, and they want to castrate your children, they're evil, demonic. Like, both sides have these ridiculous arguments, Like the left wing is like, oh, these are Nazis and they want to take over and they're gonna kill all the trans and they're gonna kill all the gays and they're gonna, that's their game for that's their long game. And the right wing is like, oh, well, the left wing's long game is sterilizing humanity and they're actually demons and they want to eradicate the human race and destroy God's kingdom. And it's like, both of you guys are just retarded. Both of these arguments, sorry. But, yeah. And I think, but it's not even about left wing or right wing. It's about, people lacking the ability to put themselves in someone else's shoes. Because that's really the fundamental ability that you need if you want to understand someone else's viewpoint. And I don't see that in most public figures, in most public influentials that are speaking out and are on shows and stuff. I don't see that in anyone. There's some exceptions, but most of them are just not really showing that capacity. And I really think we need someone to lead that has that capacity. I think even when it comes to United States presidential, I think Trump has some amount of that capacity, but I think you really need a president at some point that has that capacity in order to unify the country. I think RFK was a good, a person that kind of, he spoke to Democrats and Republicans. It wasn't just, and I think you need someone like that. You need someone that really breaks the fucking realm of my side versus your side. Because that doesn't seem to get us anywhere. It's just a back and forth and a push and pull that really doesn't bring progress, really doesn't bring any constructive betterment. Because, once a Democrat president gets in there, they're going to undo stuff that Trump did. And if a right-wing person comes in there after that, they're going to undo the stuff that the Democrat did. And it's just, you need to find the middle ground and a way to move forward and improve the future for our future generations, instead of just focusing on, oh, who's better or who's right and who's wrong, right? It's not always about who's right and who's wrong, as much as you want to believe that. It's sometimes more about finding a compromise and being able to compromise in order to find a way to live together in harmony. And the truth will always prevail. And but there's an obsession with telling the truth that completely misses the point. And this is mostly, I think, on the right-wing side, but it's also on the left wing. You can see that in the fact that they want to police, public discourse and, about the whole misinformation era that they started, which is kind of like a similar thing where it's about, well, here's the truth and you're wrong. We want to have those voices away that are wrong. But you have a similar thing on the right-wing side where they're like, we're right and they're wrong. And, well, also they're evil, but whatever. But there's this obsession with truth that is lacking the observation or the insight that I might be wrong. Like, I don't know many influencers or public speakers or public persons that actually I've ever heard to, make the admission or to admit that I could be wrong. And I think that's something that's missing. Because here's the thing. If you really want to get to the truth, you have to be able to admit that I might be wrong. To even consider that. And that qualifier, this qualifier of I might be wrong, has to apply to every opinion and every belief that you hold. If you are just 100% convinced of something and you don't ever consider the possibility that you might be wrong or things might be more complicated, right? It doesn't even have to be as clear as right or wrong. It could just be, it doesn't have to be, oh, I might be wrong on this very strong belief that I have. It might be even just a compromise like I might be, it might be more complicated than what I think about this issue. And just the ability to, consider another viewpoint is something that I feel like is missing on all sides. And I fear that if we don't get some people in the public arena that can work with all sides to come together and discover the truth, which you can only do if you're open to discovering it. If you think you've already got it, you will never discover it, right? And it's neither left nor the right that hold the truth, even though they both think that they do and they present themselves like they do, and the other guys are always wrong. So it's just, I can't say much more than this because it doesn't really get more complicated than that. It's just as simple as that. Nobody's got the truth. We're all searching for it, but we have to be open to finding it in order to actually have some sort of movement towards it. We can't move towards truth or closer to truth if we're not open to discovering it. Yeah, so that's my piece. That's all I gotta say about this. And this whole thing really made me think and really made me reflect on the state of politics and who we got out there in the public realm on both sides, left and right wing, especially in America. It's mostly American media that I'm following. But I feel like they're really missing the point. And I hope we get some change. I hope we get some people that are able to unify, because it's not looking good at the moment. And that's all I gotta say, I think. I really hope we don't get more of this kind of political violence. And I really hope people reflect on their words and the way that they use words to describe opponents, political opponents, or, you know, other people in the public realm, because people are listening, you know? People are listening to your words. And if you're talking about fucking these people are demons, these people are fucking pedophiles, or on the other side, if they hear you talk about people like these are fascists, these are Nazis, like all of this rhetoric, people are hearing it. And you take a guess what people will do with that. And, you know, out of the millions of people that listen to these big influencers, what do you think? Of course, there's going to be some lunatics there. And some of them might actually decide that it's not even lunatics. I mean, it's just brainwashed. Because if these people are really demons, Satan worshippers, pedophiles that are want to take over, and they want to castrate all your kids, and oh my God, I mean, of course it would be completely rational that you need to take action. This is insane. And if you have to kill them, of course. If that's the rationale, it's just brainwashing. It's not even that people are that fucked up, right? And on the other hand, if these people are fucking fascists and, you know, extremists and fucking Nazis, and they want to take over and they want to eradicate, you know, trans people and whatever, they want to kill all of them or whatever, of course, you know, you got to take action. This is crazy. And if you have to kill someone, makes perfect sense. Think about what the words do to people. Because honestly, if you listen to some of the left-wing rhetoric or some of the right-wing rhetoric, you would think that people that go out and kill the other side, you know, might be perfectly irrational. If that's what you believe. If you believe in fucking demons and pedophiles trying to castrate the children, and if you believe in fucking Nazis and fascists wanting to kill all the trans people and take away women's rights, yeah, makes sense to go out there and kill these or to kill these. Yeah, it's not even that fucked up. If that's what you make people believe. So you gotta really think about what the fuck you're putting out there and how you're talking about the other side. Because some people might believe it, right? And they might take some actions that seem rational to them and seem appropriate to the level of danger that is arising. Even though it's just your fucked up fantasy, and these people take your fucked up fantasy and they act on it. So anyways, that's all. I wish you the best, Charlie Kirk. I hope you're in heaven or wherever you want to go. Pretty sure it's heaven. You're a Christian. So I hope God takes you with open arms. And I hope you know, maybe you can do some action from the afterlife to push people in good directions. Because I generally think Charlie Kirk had good intentions. I think he has good intentions. I do believe in an afterlife of some sort. I'm not really a Christian. So, what do you think about that, Mr. Kirk? Anyways, okay. I'm getting ridiculous. Yeah. That's it. Peace out.